What's going on, everybody? This is your girl Racquel, and how did I realize that I'm a psychic medium? Okay, so first let's get into this. This is crazy for me. It really is, because people want to view you as crazy when you come out and say this because they don't understand. And so I've kind of been battling with this. I'm very transparent. Anybody knows me that I know I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be straightforward. So this is kind of uncomfortable in a way that I typically don't give a fuck, but you gotta understand that I was raised Pentecostal Apostolic, so therefore it's a lot of judgment that come with this. But however, I am answering the call, and Spirit has been dealing with me about being seen, about me not wanting to be seen, about basically you can't tiptoe at it. You gotta be it. You gotta do it, type of thing. And so now I'm answering the call. So I outed myself. I came out the closet with my husband. We haven't really talked about it fully. I did let him know though. And so I don't know what he thinks about it. But one thing about my husband, he loves me. I love him. And we're going to rock it out regardless. And I'm not a psycho, so it's all good. But give it to anybody to their limits, honey. Who knows? But let's get into how I found out. So it's a funny thing about spirit, right? Number one, I woke up in 2020. First of all, my family, I don't know about my dad's side. I can't speak on that, but on my mom's side, they're very, very, very spiritually inclined. They're very in tune with spirit. However, because of religious programming, they really don't deal with it. A lot of stuff is viewed as demonic. So, they will go to church. They like to hear prophecies and people prophesying and all that, all under the safe umbrella. But as soon as you come out as psychic or reading tarot, you're the devil. And that's just what it is, right? So I'm sure I'm going to be looked at as the devil. And at this point, I just really don't give a damn, because it's crazy. Just because you don't go to the church house does not mean you don't believe in God. I definitely believe in God. I have a personal relationship with God. I do my personal rituals, bring prayers and all of that stuff every single day to protect myself and my children. I pray for my husband, all of that stuff. So I'm definitely a firm believer, and I love life. I love what Creator is doing through each and every one of us. So I just wanted to say that. So 2020, I woke up. I'm gonna come out and say how I found out, because you're like, girl, get to the fucking point. Okay, I'm coming. Be cool. I'm going to say how I found out, and then I'm going to work myself backwards and kind of tell you about my journey. How does that work? Okay, so I have a podcast on this particular channel, Rocky Road TV, called Candid Stories of My Soul. And I was looking for, with the Black Love group chat, I was looking for some people, some actually professionals, to do season 2. Unfortunately, I don't think season 2 is going to happen. I believe I'm being pushed in another direction. I'd already been feeling this internal push, because when I started launching my other YouTube channel again, I started back with that. And I was doing that. I was doing the Porch Talk Night show. And all of a sudden, I started just getting this internal feeling of, no, I don't want to do this. Something's changing, And I shout out to my girl Candy. I was talking to her about it. It's like you kind of don't want to give up. And I've already been getting messages about giving up, letting it go, letting old things go so you can get new things. And it's hard, because sometimes you be thinking like, what if this pops? But she raised a question to me that was really profound. And she said, if it took off today, let's lean into that. If it took off today, would you be happy for the rest of your life doing that? And I said, no. This is really what I want to do, what I'm doing now. And so it made it easier to let go, because they gave me clarity. But that channel's still there. RRP Media Porch Talk channel's still there. You can go through all those videos and watch me act a fool. But anywho, so I'm looking for people, and then I come across the website I was on. I can't remember what it was, but it was for Black people and different things they had to offer. And one of the ladies was psychic medium. So I was trying to book her. I said, I can use her, even though I'm looking for Black Love group chat. I could use her for Candid Stories of My Soul. And so I reached out to her. We were doing this kind of like back and forth thing, right? And then one day she finally had time and she calls me. I miss her call. I call her back. She misses my call. She calls me back. We have this conversation. And one thing about spirit is like, I'm not one Leos, right? And I know everybody's not down with the astrology and they don't believe everything. Well, that's not everybody. Okay. But I'm going to tell you something about Leos. Me and all my Leo friends, we don't trust nobody. It's not unhealthy, but we have a healthy distrust. We watching you. We watching your ass. We watching and clocking. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we crazy with it, but we watching. Antennas is up. But in this particular instance, I felt so comfortable with open up to this woman. And I only have a few people that I've met like this in my life. So it's like, they're part of your soul tribe, or they have come in at the specific time because there's a need. They're bridging the gap. There is something they're supposed to help you at this juncture in your life. So I'm telling her all these things, and I'm telling her how I'm, going through between these two channels, and I'm getting this idea, but it's like when I start something that stops and this, that, and the third. And she was like, kind of let me know what she thought was going on. And she told me what it sounded like, and she pointed me to another woman that would really help me, right? She was very helpful as well, but she pointed me to another woman, not because she was incapable of helping, but this is who I needed to go to. So she said, yeah, go ahead, go to her website, call her, and this and third. So I called the lady. Right now, when do you ever call somebody in their business and they answer? That does not fucking happen. Like, they usually are going to, you're going to catch the voicemail, usually, right? And then you're going to leave a message. They're going to get back to you. But no, this woman answered the phone. And crazy enough, she don't even like talking on the phone. She was driving on the freeway, and she was letting me know that she was on the freeway and she had to call me back. We talked for a little bit. I talked to her later, almost 2.5 hours. So she was just telling me, she said, it sounds like you're having some, like psychic attacks, and I was having some stuff from my past life blocking me. Now, here's the crazy part. I've had past life regressions, so I already know certain things anyway. I had a past life regression with my friend Candy. She does them, by the way. Shout out to Candy. And I already knew some things, but in my core, I say, I feel like I'm carrying some stuff over from my past life that's hindering me what I'm supposed to do now. So we had a session, right? We have this session. She's telling me what to do. And it's crazy. So in my past life regression, right, I remember seeing an executioner and someone being beheaded. In one of my cycles, I was killed for being spiritual. I was killed for being a praying woman and really about the spiritual life. It was a time where they seen witches or whatever as the devil, like they still do, right? And so I died because of that. I died because of my faith and my beliefs and stuff like that. And so it was crazy because I was executed, right? And when she was moving that block, I literally felt the pressure out of my neck. Now, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I went too fast. I went too forward. Let me back up a little bit. So this same lady, when I was talking to her that night, where it was over 2.5 hours, she told me how to meditate, what to pray, and what to ask. She said she was going to give me 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, to do it. I had talked to her on Friday, and we was going to book a session shortly after. I did exactly what she told me to do, y'all. So I'm sitting here at this very table that I'm recording this video. And I ask the question, and I hear in a soft whisper, medium. I said, nah, that's crazy. I said, that's crazy. I made that shit up. One thing, anybody that knows that does this work, you go through this whole imposter syndrome thing. Sometimes it's hard to trust yourself. Now, mind you, I know I can do this because I've already read for somebody. And I've read for 2 people, and they loved it. It was phenomenal. Okay. And I was reading, seeing if I already know. People have come to me in my sleep. I've seen visions while I'm awake. Matter of fact, I had a girlfriend. I was going to her house. We was talking about doing the show, and a lady that has it kind of out for her popped up in my dream the night before. And I knew this woman was schizophrenic and all this stuff. And I said something when I was talking to her the next day. She was talking about something. I was like, hold up, I think this is the woman I dreamed about. And I got to explain to her. Sure enough, it was. So I already know. And then I've had this gift as a child, but I'm going to go back. I'm going to go in the back. So anyway, back to the whole hookup. So I hear this word medium. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's like, damn, I'm all over the place, but it be like that. As this Leo, it be like that. It's funny because Sloan Bella, she was channeling Whitney Houston, and she's a Leo. She was like, oh my gosh, she's all over the place. I said, baby, welcome to the world of fucking Leo. That's how we be. Anyhow, firing off, right? So I thought that was crazy. I'm like, I'm making that shit up, whatever. I walks away, and I did it again Sunday. Now, this time when I did it, I didn't hear it. And this is what's great about spirit. It knew not to come back to me like that clairaudiently because I was going to second guess it. So when I went to sleep that night, I had a dream. I'm in this dream. I'm in this, looks like I'm kind of like in this building where they have an event, like different tables are set up. People are walking around. I come to this particular table, and on there it was labeled psychic medium. I see it. I don't pay it no attention. Whatever. So then this little child this little boy is in front of me. I give him about the age of 8. He looks at me, and then he looks at my shoes and says, that doesn't look like the shoes of a psychic medium. In the dream, I'm like, this boy talking to me. What the hell is he talking about? I go to walk away, and I look at the table behind me, and it was like some little digital board, and it had a ticker going across saying psychic medium. Now, this message came to me in 3s. When I woke up, I said, okay, all right, I receive it. I receive it. Okay, I get it. What's crazy about this is the gift has always been there. And spirit has been sending me messages to reaffirm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm hearing them. But I'm telling you, this stuff is hard. It's hard. It's hard because of where I came from. It's hard because, when they talk about the narrow path, it's not religion. This is the narrow path. This is putting yourself out there when people are going to think you crazy and they're going to call you the devil, and you got to fight all of this stuff out and still hold your head up high. As confident as I am, as secure as I am, I'm still human. I'm a strong vessel, but I'm in a human body, so I am subject to human emotions is what I'm saying. So it's not easy. I'm putting myself out there. Despite what my friends are going to think, what my family's going to think. I'd already had a dream before I even came out the closet with this to you guys and my husband, that I was getting into it with my family, and I didn't know what it was about. They were sitting up there telling me I knew better and throwing scriptures at me and all this shit. And now I see what's going on. This is truly something. I went to go interview my grandma over a month ago. I still haven't put the interview out. I am at some point. I don't even know if I'm supposed to put the interview out because the first time I did it, the visuals were great. It was a lot of technical difficulty with this interview. Let's just say that. It was a lot of technical difficulty, and part of me feels like it really was meant for me to just keep it for sentimental value. And when she's no longer with us, I'll always have that. It was just a lot going on. It just makes me think I don't even know if I should put it out. But at any rate, my grandma told me something. She said, after my great-grandmother had passed, I told her, I found out my great-grandmother had breast cancer. We were really close. I didn't have her a long time, but we were really close. I remember her taking me to the Dairy Queen in her big car, kind of like that car Medea drove. I remember that. And she fell ill. And I believe my grandma knew me. I think she knew this girl here is different. And it's funny because after I had that dream, I woke up that morning, I was almost in tears because I felt like my great grandma was there, like trying to connect with me. When she passed away, my grandma said that, I said, great grandma is fine. She's walking. She can walk again. Mind you, she was bedridden with cancer. She had her hospital bed in her home. All I could do was stand next to the bed and just look at her. She wasn't talking or anything like that. And I remember when I was young, I had a dream. I went to sleep and she came to visit me. And she was letting me know that everything was okay. And when I tell you, it was so beautiful. Everything around her was like a bright white, a white you can't even contemplate. And her and I was riding in the car in the back seat together. And she was just letting me know she was okay. And I woke up and I was crying. And my dad was like, well, what are you crying about? I had told my grandmother this too. And this is what I'm talking about, like parents. And they don't mean no harm, right? When we know better, we do better. So please know that I'm not putting my parents on the cross with this. But I was crying and I told my dad, I said, great grandma, she came to visit me and this, that, and the third. And he was like, stop crying. You tripping, whatever. You didn't even know her like that. I knew my great grandma. We had a connection. I knew. And she hasn't come through yet. I know she will at some point. I know my great grandma is going to come through at some point. She hasn't in the way that, like after that dream, I felt her. I thought about her. So I know, she's there, but she hasn't come through like in the dream. After my brother-in-law passed, he came and visited me in my sleep. He was letting me know. He was telling me, he was like, I was so excited to see him, right? I was so excited to see him. I was very hurt when my brother-in-law died. It was very unexpected. And he came to me and he was like, a lot of people on earth need a lot of help. And we're busy up here helping them. And he was like, and you think that you need it. He was like, but you don't. You are far more equipped than so many others. It's others that need help. He was like, you are all right. And I don't know. That was something that did something to me. But when I was a kid, I probably was about 15 or 16. And I think even my cousin was starting to be called too. But she went a different way. She's a pastor. So that's that. I'll never know. The instance I'm speaking of, I won't go into detail. But I'll never really truly know what happened unless she tells me. But I have my theories and my thoughts and things that have come to me. But I don't try to peer too much in it because it's not my business. I feel like if a person don't want you to know, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go do all of that. So anywho, I ain't about to draw cards on that shit. None of that. I'm not asking spirits. It has nothing to do with me. But I was in high school and Southfield High and Southfield Lathrop had a football game. And my mom was picking me up from Lathrop. It was on Lathrop's campus. By the way, I don't know where you're watching me from, but I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and make it easy for you. But yes, I was born in Detroit. I did live there to the age of 8. I moved to the suburbs, and I've kind of been in the same area all my life. Shoot, my house where I'm at now ain't too far from the house I had in Detroit growing up. So at any rate, Southfield High, Southfield Lathrop was playing a game. My mom came to pick me up from the game, and we're sitting in the driveway for whatever reason. I don't know why we were still sitting in the driveway, because my mom parked her car in the garage. You know what I'm saying? We was the black family that used the fucking garage. Here, we use our garage for storage, okay? But my parents, we parked in the garage. So I don't know why we were sitting in the driveway. So I'm sitting in the passenger seat, right? And I see this girl charging up the driveway. Now, mind you, this girl wasn't alive. I can't explain to you how I knew she wasn't alive, but I knew she wasn't there, but she was there. I could see her. And so she's charging up, and it was like she was trying to jump in the fucking car with me, and it scared the shit out of me, right? I went down. I came up, because you're thinking, okay, you tripping. She did it again. I went down, came back up. She came again. I went down, and then I lost it. So again, my mom is Pentecostal Apostolic. Now she's speaking in tongues. She's praying. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. She doing all of this. I was so fucking scared. Y'all, I had a job at Big Boys. I quit that motherfucker. I don't even know what that had to do with what was going on, but I didn't want to go to work. I had to work. So this had to be a Friday night. I had to work because I only worked on the weekend. Saturday morning, I called in. I just couldn't deal with that. And then I think I never went back. I never went back to work after that. So that was on that. And then later I dated this guy. And he had some shit going on. And one day he came to where I was staying. And in my sleep, I seen like this infrared, like I felt something coming up the stairs and I could see it, right? And it was intense. Like, what the fuck? And I wake up and he's standing over me. And that's a whole nother story for another day, baby. We just talking about this. I had another guy I was dating. He think I don't know. But again, I'm psychic. I'm a medium. I can hear, I can see, I can feel all of that. This guy, it was always something off about him. I liked him, but it was something off and I didn't know. You know, one thing about your 20s, especially your own 20s, you're dumb as shit, right? I've always been smart. I've always been one to listen to my gut instincts. I remember my cousin and I had just having to talk, like when we're trying to go somewhere as young people and there's a lot of resistance, that's a sign not to go. And you know, I always had wisdom, but you still have to grow up. You don't come with everything. That would defeat the purpose of life, right? So you still got to go through some things and mature or whatever. So this guy is like, I liked him, but something was off about him. At any rate, one day with my husband, I wasn't married to him, that we were just dating, but I was out of town. I get this phone call. It was creepy as shit, right? It was a blocked phone number. The voice was distorted, and it was basically like talking about basically preying on my child, my son. I knew my spirit. I can't explain it. I'm going to explain it the best way I can. It was like a loud voice ringing, and it was telling me who it was. And I was so fucking scared. I'm looking around. I'm looking out the window. I'm thinking this motherfucker is watching me. It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. I called my then boyfriend, now husband. He hurried up and rushed home from where he was, because I was going to he had moved to Texas and he was working at his cousin's bar. So he had hurried up and came home, and it was crazy. I was scared out of my mind. I confronted the dude about it. He was like, no, I wouldn't do that. And the way he responded, I knew it was fucking him, because let me tell you something. Accuse somebody of being some creepo pedo, they're going to lose their fucking mind. Or they're going to give you some indication that wasn't me. His response let me know I was dead on. I knew what the fuck I was talking about. I knew what I was talking about. And some of the stuff that I seen, when I go back and think about some of the stuff that I was like, but I didn't put it together, I was able to all put it together after that. I was like, I'm glad me and this fool never really, really became official, because he got some shit going on that would not be beneficial for me or his life or my child. It wouldn't be beneficial for me. More importantly, it damn sure wouldn't be beneficial for my child to be preyed upon, but it wouldn't be beneficial for his life, because he would have been meeting his maker fucking around with me and my kid. And I've had other instances with that ringing. My son had called me one time from school, and he was very distraught about something. He wanted to tell me something, and he didn't know how to tell me. And Spirit was telling me. It was screaming at me. I was like, I already knew. And it turned out to be right. So, you know, those are just some examples. This shit has been going on forever. And so, I'm out the closet, y'all. And I'm growing. And I think now my channel is changing. Candid will still be on here. We still gonna do the interviews. I employ anybody who wants to be interviewed and tell their story about their spiritual journey. Please hit me up on my website. And also I do offer readings. I do offer that, y'all. I do. You can book that. As I grow, I'm gonna be sharing with y'all my dreams, everything. We're gonna have fun on this channel. You know what I'm saying? You rock with me. And I appreciate you for being here and listening. What else? Oh, so listen. Before I get out of here, I just want to say this too. So I was looking for a psychic medium circle, because one thing I do understand about this work energy is everything. Energy is flowing, and when you're constantly in the presence of the energy and people like you, it helps you grow even more. It helps you feel more confident. It helps with everything, right? And so I've been looking and I couldn't really find. I went to one here and it wasn't what I was expecting. So recently it dawned on me, like, I need to create my own. So if you are a psychic medium looking to be in a circle, let's create this circle together. Because what I want to do is I want to talk about, know that there's not one way to get to source, to get to God. There's not one way to service. All of us have our abilities. We all bring something differently. So the idea to me was just that we get in this circle. Of course, we introduce ourselves, our abilities. We talk about anything, the dreams that we've had, the new knowledge that we've come in, the things that Spirit has told us, give each other tips, encouragement. I would like to go and travel all over the world and expand this thing. So I'm developing this group and it's on Patreon. Matter of fact, my content mostly is going to be on Patreon now. Because you know what, the Instagrams and everybody else, they always want to block your shit, play with your shit. You got to go through this with the algorithm, whatever. So my posts and stuff will now be on my Patreon. The good thing about Patreon is now you can join it for free. So my stuff that I would just put on regular social media will always be for free. The psychic mediumship circle obviously is for only certain people that will be into that. So that's you can enter that at the $10 tier a month. We start off meeting once a month. If y'all like it more, we could do it more. We could do it twice a month. If it calls for it, we do once a week, whatever. But the $10, because again, I want to be able to travel, man. I want to take this show on the road because this is needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need one another, us that are like this. And then too, in numbers, we raise the vibration, we can help others. So I'm just really excited. I don't have everything planned out. I'm just telling you about some of the things that I wanted to do. The Psychic Medium Circle is explained on my Patreon too. But yeah, that's that. So if you want to book a reading, hit me up. All this information is going to be in the info under the thing. If you want to join the Psychic Medium Circle, hit me up. Follow me on my Patreon for all my social media. I will still probably use TikTok to go live at times, but Patreon is where I'm going to do it. So hit me up. But I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed this. I was pretty vulnerable, I think. I'm not really emotional, but I don't have a problem with being vulnerable, so I'm working on it. I'm growing. We growing together on Rocky Road TV, baby. We growing together. Rocky Road TV is where we laugh, learn, brainstorm, and expand our consciousness together. I'm not no better than you, and you're not no better than me, child. Let's do this together. I love y'all for tapping in. Hit the like button and share with somebody who can relate.